to Project Talk, PropTiger's endeavor to fetch you answers to all your project-related queries from the comfort of your homes. I'm Sneha Sharan, your host for the day, and I'm joined by Mr. Viswa Prathap Desu, Cheif Sales Officer at Brigade. Welcome. Mr. Vinod Kulkarni, Project Head at Brigade Meadows. Welcome. Mr. Nishit Agarwal, Senior Manager Sales at Brigade 7 Gardens. And from PropTiger, we're joined by the City Head for Bengaluru, Mr. Suchindra. Warm welcome to all my panelists. Now, Brigade is a renowned name in the real estate circles, known for the quality of construction and happy customers across southern India. PropTiger is India's leading real estate advisory firm to have served more than 25,000 home buyers throughout their home buying journey at zero brokerage for customers. I'd like my panelists now to give our viewers a brief introduction about the companies that they're representing, starting with you, Team Brigade.
Thank you, Sneha. It's a pleasure to be on this webinar with PropTiger. It's a great platform to reach out to interested customers and prospective customers. Just a little bit about Brigade. Brigade has been in this industry for more than 3 decades. It's a Bangalore-based organization. I'm sure most of you would know. And we've been doing projects in residential, commercial, retail. We are in the various domains. Apart from these real estate projects, we are also into schools. We are into CSR activities, and we also set up a music experience museum. So we've been present in all cities of South India, and we are the licensee holders of World Trade Center for all the cities of South India. So, of course, today we'll be covering some specific projects. As we move forward, I think we'll hear more on that. Back to you, Sneha.
Mr. Pratap, Mr. Suchindra.
Hi, my name is Suchindra, and I'm representing PropTiger, which is very well known for its expert assistance on property search, site visits, home loans. So PropTiger brings in a lot of professionalism, transparency, and committedness to the customers at absolute zero cost to the customers. Thank you so much, Sneha. I really hope they get all the information that is required from this webinar.
So the projects we are focusing on today is Brigade 7 and Brigade Meadows. We've already received a lot of queries from prospective buyers about this project, and we'll be picking up these questions in due course of time. But before we begin with those questions, I'm going to play a small video for the benefit of our viewers.
Known as the Silicon Valley of India, Bangalore is the capital of Karnataka and is one of the most developed metropolis in the country. The development in the IT sector has made Bangalore the center of high-tech industry, with many MNCs setting up their bases here. Bangalore has also been the birthplace of several now multi-billion-dollar companies. There has also been a tremendous growth in the demand of residential units over the last 2 years. South Bangalore is one of the zones in the city. The majority of the zone is occupied by the natives who still endorse their traditions and values. The zone is rich in its culture and depiction of its tradition through its temples and heritages. In spite of this, the area is blooming into commercial space within itself. Kanakapura Road and Banashankari, amongst others, are the most sought-after localities in south of Bangalore by home seekers. Owing to its perfect mix of culture and commerce, many developers have come up with their projects over the localities in South Bangalore. Brigade is one of the premium and leading property developer with projects extending across several major cities in South India. With over 20 million square feet delivered, 3 decades of experience, and over 150 buildings across residences, commercial spaces, malls, and others, Brigade is proud to present Brigade Meadows and Brigade 7 Gardens. 7 Gardens at Banashankari blends seamlessly with the natural beauty of the landscape, inviting you to this haven of tranquility. Intricate trellises woven with exotic vines have been incorporated into the architecture of each home, ensuring plenty of greenery on every floor. Brigade Meadows is another addition to the wide range of celebrated Brigade properties in India. This gorgeous development is located in the posh locality of Kanakapura Road. Apart from a plethora of modern amenities and convenient facilities, Brigade Meadows is also noted for its cutting-edge infrastructure and world-class design. With class-leading amenities, the convenience of connectivity, and Brigade's promise of quality, Meadows and Seven Gardens strike the perfect balance of a luxurious and convenient lifestyle.
Convenient and luxurious lifestyle indeed. We'll quickly come over to the questions now. Mr. Agarwal, my first question is for you now. How are your projects different from other projects already present in the neighborhood? I'd like Mr. Agarwal and Mr. Kulkarni to go through that.
Thank you, Sneha. I'll go first. So speaking about Seven Gardens, that is the project I represent, which is located on the Banshankari 6 phase. We have a lot of builders in the market, and it goes without saying that, as far as concrete walls are concerned, it looks all the same from outside. What really is making the difference is the quality of the construction. And definitely that goes with every brigade project. When we specifically talk about Seven Gardens, the name actually reveals the answer. It is a theme-based project, and the theme is providing 7 type of theme-based gardens within the complex, which are supporting and enriching different lifestyles across the age group. Right from having a garden of source, which is providing vegetables and fruits which have, the trees and the bushes which are planted in that particular garden, all the way to going to the social garden where there is a specific spot for socialization being provided. Adding to the same, we have garden of solitude for your own self to spend some time alone all by yourself. And I mean, I would rather wait for our PPT to start to get into the further details on the same, but I'm sure you get the idea.
Yeah.
Over to
Thank
you,
you, Nishit. Talking about Meadows, everyone would have gone through the video what we just now shared. As you have seen, Brigade Meadows is a completed property. All the things what you have seen in the video is currently, when you visit our property, you can actually have a look at it. And we have more than 1,500 residents who are already staying in our campus and enjoying all these facilities. It can be, I forgot to mention that Brigade Meadows is a 60-acre integrated township. When I mean integrated, everything required by your family, it can be a grocery store, it can be a pharmacy, it can be a cafe coffee day, it can be a salon, dental cleaning, everything is available right within the campus. Not to forget all the, more than 45 acres of greenery, which is very rare to get in any property nowadays in Bangalore. So these are a few of the advantages. As Nishit mentioned, once we come to the presentation part of it, we will take it into detailed discussion on that. Over to you, Sneha.
Mr. Agarwal, also tell us something about the location advantage that your project enjoys.
Thank you, Sneha. Surely, I mean, that is one of the proud feature for Seven Gardens. Generally, when we are in real estate, we tend to explain how the location would be developed further and how things would be available around us maybe in a couple of years down the line. When you talk about Seven Gardens, you have practically everything around you already. I mean, just on a lighter note, come down and visit my project and open your Swiggy app and see how many restaurants you have around. So that is just a icing on the cake. I mean, we are surrounded by some of the very well developed localities. Just to name the few, we have Uttarali, which is very well known colony. We have Rajrajeshwari Nagar, which is again has become one of the premium localities in Bangalore. So when you are having these kind of localities around your project, I don't really think that, I need to say more about it. So definitely location, any which ways, as we say, location, 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 and that is what matters. That is what Seven Gardens definitely goes for. Thank you.
And talking about Meadows, location-wise, we are situated on the main Kanakapura National Highway, Kanakapura Main Road. We are quite close to the Nice Road junction, which will take you to Electronic City and Banerghatta Road office spaces, maybe within 15-20 minutes drive away. The other side, if you wish to go towards Mysore Road industrial area or Tumkur industrial area, that is also within 30 minutes drive towards Tumkur. So plus adding to the Anjanapura metro station, which is going to come close to the Meadows, you should be about 5 to 7 minutes drive to that metro station, and from there you can zip throughout the city. That's, I'm talking about maybe 5 to 6 months away, not far away.
So just to add what Vinod mentioned, it's also next to Art of Living. There's a common wall with the Art of Living thing. That's a huge attraction for this project. Yeah, thank you.
Moving on, Mr. Kulkarni, also help us understand what are the upcoming infrastructural developments in the Bangalore project you're talking about. You've talked about metro. Are there anything else? Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about?
Well, the Brigade Meadows as a location has advantage of three major infrastructure. One, as I mentioned, the metro connectivity. The last station of metro should be about 5 to 6 minutes away from the R project. Second would definitely be the existing Nice Road corridor, and third is the location right in front of our Brigade Meadows project that's being converted into a national highway, which goes all the way till Coimbatore further. So these are the three major infrastructure. And talking about the commute as per se, even though currently the Yelchanalli is the one which is the last working metro station, rest are almost final stages. So within Meadows we have a shuttle bus service wherein we have arranged this facility for our residents. They can use this facility right from 7 in the morning till 9:30 in the night, and they can reach till the metro station close by with at a very nominal price, even I would say lesser than even what auto guys would charge. So this facility is arranged within our campus for our residents to use for their office purpose or any other commute on a daily basis.
Thank you.
Hi Sneha, I would like to add some of the features with respect to connectivity, though we will cover the same thing in the presentation as well. Similar as Meadows, we have the Nice Corridor connectivity through 7 Gardens. We have the Somapura entrance for the Nice Corridor, which can take you to Mysore Road and further down towards Tumkur Road and all. And of course, on the other end, if we touch Kanakapura Road, we have the Kanakapura Road entry and exit for the Nice Corridor. Relatively, close. I mean, of course, it's not as close as Meadows, to be very frank, but yes, definitely approachable. Speaking of other connectivities, yes, the cab and the auto facilities are very much available within the locality. At the same time, we are with a close proximity to Kanakapura Road as well as Mysore Road, which are both the upcoming national highways.
Thank you. Mr. Agarwal, would you also help us understand in terms of value appreciation, how has the Banshankari market performed in the past and what is the future prospects like?
See, as far as the market appreciation is concerned, over the years, we have seen on an average an appreciation of close to around 10 to 11% on a year-on-year basis. And we hope to see the same thing continuing, maybe with a dip of a 0.5% approximately, maybe half or maximum 1% dip, considering the COVID-19 effect, and not more than that. But we can most certainly safely say that approximately 9% kind of an appreciation can be seen in the coming year as well. Now, that is something which is the time, of course, will tell, but at the same time, we can see how exactly the response have been. Even with a slight lift of the lockdown, we are sensing a regular traction towards from the customers. We have been interacting with all the customers of ours all through this while during the month of April. And eventually, all the clients have started responding in terms of their willingness to visit the property. That definitely shows that, yes, the market is welcoming. And of course, we are looking positive on this.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Kulkarni, would you want to add something here?
Well, in terms of the kind of appreciation, I would definitely agree with what Nishit had mentioned. And especially talking about an integrated township like Meadows, it has seen that kind of an appreciation for sure year on year. And one thing is for sure, when it is an added advantage for us, is even not only with respect to a property appreciation, it's also been a very good project for rental returns. We have many people who have given their apartments on rental, and they've been seeing a good rental returns for two reasons. One is there are many art of living followers who have referred this as their home, and second is Electronic City and Banerghatta Road being close by. So this is one of the, this is not one of the, this is the biggest, the township in South Bangalore, and many people have preferred for that. So both rental and appreciation wise, it's quite a safe bet, I would say.
Thank you. Mr. Suchindra, what is the mood of the market right now? What are buyers thinking? What is the activity like?
There's so much that has happened in 2020. It's like 2020 is there, but it's still not there in the calendar. So much of chaos. People did not know how to react. A lot of industries went through a lot of adaptation. Every day there was a change in strategy. But there was one industry which stood like a rock hard industry, that is the real estate industry. The share markets were volatile, the gold rates went up. But then people realized in the last 30, 35 days that the investments which are being made with good reputed builders in real estate has, the prices have not dropped. The appreciation is still there. The demand is still there to buy homes. Suddenly you find the necessity of owning a home becoming the top priority, right? So overall, people have moved out from that fear and chaos which was there in the market for the last 30 days. People have realized, and the sense of bouncing back in real estate industry is coming back. So I'm hoping that customers still prefer the real estate, and for ages it's been the safest investment for sure.
A positive outlook is a good outlook. Mr. Kulkarni, moving on to you. Now we get a lot of questions from investors. So you've already
Okay.
explained it a bit, but I'd like you to elaborate. Why should an investor choose a home in your project?
Well, many of whom who are not aware of what Brigade's major USP is, Brigade is known for their integrated township. If you have heard of Brigade Gateway, the best integrated township in India, I would say Brigade Metropolis, Brigade Millennium, all these are, and our current Brigade Orchards, Brigade Meadows, and also to add up the recently launched Brigade Utopia. These are integrated township. When I mean by integrated township, that everything, it can be a office space, it can be an hospital, school, retail space, everything is available within the campus, and walking distance from their home or office, and vice versa. So these kind of a township has definitely seen a good appreciation, and that's also giving it to the kind of traffic situation what we face in Bangalore. These kind of an investment have seen very good returns. Not only returns, but most of the family members get to enjoy the facilities within the campus. So these are the major reasons what I would say for people to invest. And secondly, this is the right time for people to invest for a couple of reasons. One is the kind of bank interest rates what we're looking at. This, I would say, the lowest in last 13 to 14 years. So the interest rate what you're getting is definitely at a much cheaper price. Second is, if you are a first time home buyer, there are a lot of options given by the central government, either in terms of your tax deduction or in terms of PMI, AY, where it's more of a cashback given by the government. So these are the things. Overall, if you mix up, it's definitely a right time for you to invest in your dream home.
Thank you. Mr. Agarwal, would you want to answer that as well?
Sure, Sneha. So, just to add, I mean, I think Mr. Vinod has summarized it quite well already. Just to add a small point, I personally always feel that an investor, and most of the investors would already be aware of it, that an investor has to always look for the property for investment from an eye of an end user. So ultimately, the whole idea of making a real estate is for someone to live there. So if you have schools nearby, if you have hospitals nearby, if the connectivity is good, if the quality of the construction is assured, that automatically turns into a whole package for a good investment. Of course, uh, the, the the monetary related or the finance related facilities what we have in the market in today's time, supported by government, supported by various financial institutions, that has already been covered by Mr. Vinod. But the only, I mean, some of the things with respect to the product front, these are some of the things which every investor has to look at. And of course, I personally feel that definitely will turn into a good investment. And speaking of any of the Brigade property, those are strategically located. I'm not alone talking about Seven Gardens or Meadows for that matter. Any of the Brigade properties, I mean, definitely will vouch for those kind of features. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, panelists. We'll move on to the next bit now. Now, may I request Team Brigade to walk us through a presentation of both the projects. Mr. Agarwal and Mr. Kulkarni, please go ahead.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining us today here on a weekend. And I am Nishat Agrawal, and I'm presenting Seven Gardens. I take care of the project, and I would take you through the details of Seven Gardens. This is just a small snapshot what we have here. This is on your left, what you see is how the building is going to look like from outside. And on your right, we have just handful of points, which we will also get into the details further. As we already know, it is located on Banshankari 6th stage. It is, I would say, better known as localities like Uttarhalli, localities like Rajarajeshwari Nagar. Uttarhalli main road is just a walk away from this place. We have configurations of 2 and 3 BHK as at large, but we have other surprises also for you, which we'll discuss about. It's a 8.3 acre of land parcel where we have 678 apartments in total. It's a stilt plus 14 floors largely, and the RERA number has also been mentioned. That definitely certifies the assurance. The completion of the project is at December 2020. Moving forward, we will dive into the location aspects. In our previous conversation so far, you guys must have already understand quite a bit about the place. However, if I give you a little precise idea, when you're moving from Uttarhalli circle towards Kengeri on the Uttarhalli Kengeri road, roughly 1.5 kilometer from the Uttarhalli circle, we will take a left before the Patalama temple, and approximately 700 meters from there, right at the dead end of the road, we have this beautiful project, Seven Gardens. As it is already clear, roughly 1.5 kilometer to 2 kilometers away from Uttarhalli, approximately 1.5 kilometer away from Rajarajeshwari Nagar. It is 2.5 kilometers away from the upcoming metro station, which would be located near KSIT College on Kanakapura Road. Definitely, that is also the distance from Kanakapura Road, which is turning into a national highway. If we move and cross Rajarajeshwari Nagar, we will reach to the Mysore Road highway as well. Now let's have a look at the other attributes of the location. We have multiple options with respect to schools and colleges. We have KSIT College, we have Dayanand Sagar International School and College. NPS is walkable, and DPS South is also close by, approximately 1.5 kilometer. We have RNS IT College nearby. If we just touch the Mysore Road, we have the entire Bangalore University nearby. When it comes to health, we have BGS Hospital, which is approximately 2 kilometers from the project. Other hospitals are also available. Shopping wise, I don't really think you need to worry at all. You have Rajarajeshwari Nagar market. The Kanakapura Road, as we all know, has turned into quite a well-developed market in itself. And we are also looking out for 2 new malls getting started shortly on Kanakapura Road. So that the life is going to get better and better in these areas. With respect to passing some quality time with your family, you can take a trip to Turahalli Reserve Forest. You can go to the Art of Living. We have ISKCON theme park, which is quite close by. These are some of the location attributes. Now we'll move towards the internal qualities of the project. What we are looking at right now is the layout plan of the project. On your right hand side, we have the entrance. You can see a slight pink spot that is near the entrance, and right above that, the clubhouse is located. So when you're moving from Uttarali Main Road, this is where you will reach. And at the entrance, you will see the 20,000 square feet clubhouse very next to the first residential building, which is 8 Tower. Followed by that, we have two clusters. First cluster right after 8 Tower on the slight left, we have B, C, and D towers. And further down on a linear shape, we have E, F, and G tower. In total, 7 towers in 8.3 acres of land parcel. 75% open area, 25% constructed area. Greenery, as you can see in the layout, anywhere we have not constructed, most of the areas are turning green. We are going to plant a lot of trees. We are going to sustain a lot of trees in this area. We are having plenty of amenities which we can look at now. As I earlier mentioned, 20,000 square feet of clubhouse, multipurpose hall, convenience store, swimming pool, billiards, table tennis, the list goes on. In fact, we have not covered all the amenities in this. We would request you to please visit us and experience it. It's quite a list. I'm sure you would be glad to know that. Now, if we can move to the previous slide for 1 minute. Thank you. Now, on your right, we have the 7 specific garden names, what we have mentioned here. These are the qualities, these are the USPs, the theme of the project. I'll just, in one line, I'll give you the detail about all the 7 gardens. That Garden of Sunshine is located on the rooftops. This is a community kind of a zone where you can enjoy the sun. The Garden of Solitude is for meditation or yoga, to spend time all by yourself. The Garden of Sway is an activity zone where we have kids play areas and open gymnasium. The Garden of Surprise is a place where we have motion censored activating fountains. The Garden of Senses is where we have various fragrant flowers. And the Garden of Sources where we have a lot of trees and herbs planted, which would be very useful in our day-to-day purposes, like a lot of vegetables and fruits would be grown here. The social garden is obvious, is a place where we socialize. Moving forward. These are some of the details in a very short manner. We have 4 different configurations when it comes to sizes of the apartments, right from studio all the way to 3 bedroom with 3 toilet. Sizes are also being mentioned here. Studios are 371 square feet. A 2 BHK ranges from 1165 to 1195 square feet. The 3 bedroom 2 toilet is in a range of 1395 to 1423 square feet. And a 3 bedroom with 3 toilet, which is the largest, is of 1603 square feet. As we have already covered, total number of apartments are 678 in 8.3 acres of an integrated enclave. The structure is stilt plus 13 or 14 floors depending on tower to tower, and the starting range would be 25 lakhs onwards for a studio, 76.5 lakhs for a 2 bedroom apartment. For a 3 bedroom with 2 toilet, it will start from 91 lakhs onwards, and for a 3 bedroom with 3 toilet apartments, it will start from 1 crore 5 lakhs onwards. Registrations and stamp duties would be extra. All the overhead charges, the rest of all the overhead charges have been included in this. Thank you. I would wait for your inquiries and wait for your queries further, and of course, would wait for your visit to the project.
Yeah, thank you, Nishit. Thank you, Sneha. Can we have the Meadows presentation? Yes. Can we move on to the next slide? Yeah, thanks. So starting with the location of Brigade Meadows, as Mr. Pratap had mentioned, that this is right next to the world famous Art of Living, which is known for its yoga and meditation center. So Brigade Meadows is right adjacent to that on the Kanakapura main road with access to good infrastructure close by. It can be the upcoming metro station, nice corridor. And talking about the other aspect, it definitely is close to the the major IT infrastructure on Banerghatta Road as well as the Electronic City, which has a good access to that. So this is a basic information about the location about the meadows. And if we move on to the next slide, I will explain to you about the entire master plan. So what you're seeing on your master plan currently is a bird's eye view of the 60-acre campus. Top left of your screen is called Brigade Meadows Phase 1, wherein we had constructed ground plus 3 floors apartments to 1, 2 and 3 bedroom, which was a mid budget segment, which has been already completed, handed over. More than 1,000 families are already staying there, and not to forget, it is fully sold out from our side. On your right hand side, what you see in the purple color, that's called Brigade Wisteria. That's an upgradation from our phase 1. So Wisteria, we brought in the luxury segment, which had about 300 plus apartments, mainly of 2 and 3 bedroom categories. And this is sold out almost about a year and a half back. Coming to the right below, what you see on the light blue and the pink color, that's the Plumeria and Plumeria Lifestyle. That's where we have units now. I'm happy to share that both have received occupancy certificates. So major part of your GST, that is, you will not end up paying any GST. So any property which is occupancy certificate, wherein occupancy certificate is received, you will not be paying any GST. So with respect to the configuration, Plumeria and Plumeria Lifestyle, we have a 2-bedroom and a 3-bedroom configuration. So I'll stick to this master plan itself. Just to explain, we have a shopping center called Arcade within the campus, which has its own grocery, pharmacy, clinic, cafe coffee day, your dental clinic, and all the amenities what a family would require. A special mention is we have signed up with St. John's Hospital. So they will be opening their healthcare center by next month. And the idea is to take up to a 100-bed hospital also in years to come. But currently, St. John's will be opening their healthcare center in a month's time. That's a big advantage because of the location in and around, though we have well-known hospital chains like Fortis, Apollo and BGS. But if a healthcare facility is available within your campus, that's definitely an added advantage. And if you see the master plan, the entire campus of 60 acre has more than 80% open space. So what we're talking about roughly is about 45 to 47 acres kind of an open space, and that is all fully landscaped. We have 2,000 plus trees over here. In that, about 250 to 300 are fruit bearing tree, about 1,000 are flower bearing trees and plants. So that's quite a lush green campus. What your family, even if you have a toddler, senior citizen with your family, it is planned for everyone. Coming to even the plan part of it, each and every apartment is well ventilated in terms of sunlight and ventilation. Both aspects are very. We have taken care of these two aspects, and you are closer to all your amenities also. Very few projects in Bangalore today gives you a full-fledged football ground, which is a 7-a-side football ground. We are coming up with a cricket ground which has a 600 plus seating capacity, and all other open amenities is. We are talking about a landscape zone of more than 15 acres, which is a huge area. If we can move on to the next slide, I will talk about the configuration of the apartment and overall pricing. Definitely pricing is one of the major aspects nowadays. So the entire campus, what we are seeing on your screen is that 60-acre campus comprises of about 3,002 units. And we have ensured that we have not gone high rise. Minimum of ground plus 3 floor, what we did in phase 1 and even the current phase of Plumeria is only ground plus 8 floors. So we have not gone high rise, which most of the people like it, nowadays, and definitely the kind of landscape this project gives you. Talking about the sizes, we have 1 bedroom of around 715 square feet. We have 2 bedroom around 1100 to say 1290 square feet, and 3 bedroom would range between a 1470 to 1480, which is basically a 3 bedroom 2 toilet option. And 3 bedroom, 3 toilet, you will get around 1530 going up till about 1630 square feet. So these are at a price point of between what you're seeing is basically the agreement value. But if you want to see the overall cost, a 2 bedroom should cost you about 65, 66 lakhs plus registration, the starting area, and a 3 bedroom, 2 toilet within the range of 78 to 79, and the biggest of the area should be about 90 plus registration. So price wise, it is definitely we have planned to give a sweet spot, because in Bangalore anything between 60 to 80 lakh is considered affordable considering the metro. So what you're seeing currently on your screen is the kind of social infrastructure what we have in and around project. It can be school, it can be colleges. In fact, we have more than 19 school buses which comes to our campus to pick up the kids over here. We also have about 4 to 5 major college. It can be the Anand Sagar College, the Jain University, the one on the Mysore Road, that is Christ College. These are all 15 to 20 minutes drive from our project. Plus, not to mention the shopping and recreation area, major being the Art of Living campus and upcoming two malls which Nishit mentioned coming up on the Kanakapura road. So overall, it's a campus where everything is there for everyone in your family. I request you to go through the list of amenities what the project provides. It has more than 40 plus amenities. And lastly, I would only request you to have a visit to our property to actually see and enjoy the 60-acre campus over here. And we look forward to welcoming you.
Thank you. Indeed, a lifestyle truly coveted. Thank you for a comprehensive presentation, both of you. We'll now move on to the audience questions. The first question comes in from Sriram Naidu. Mr. Agarwal, could you tell me about payment plan?
Yeah, would you mind repeating that? Sorry.
I think Pratap.
Nishit, yeah, it's about payment plan. You can just talk about the payment plan for Seven Gardens.
Sure, sir. So with respect to the payment plan, we have currently two different kind of payment plans when it comes to Seven Gardens. We have a regular, as we all know, the construction link payment plan. At the same time, we also have a specific offer going on for a short duration, wherein we have a 1090 offer. 1090 offer for people who have been in real estate, have been following real estate, will be quite easy to understand. It gives us a facility, it gives our buyers, our clients a facility to pay 10% at the time of booking and remaining in the month of December, which is also the completion timing of the project. So that gives a breathing period in between with respect to the fund management, with respect to the cash flow. So this is the current payment plan what we have. As far as construction is concerned, different towers in Seven Gardens have different stages. So if in case someone is going for the construction link payment plan, depending on which tower that person opts for, that kind of a payment plan would be applicable.
All right. Is it the same? Is it true for the other project as well, Brigade Meadows, Mr. Kulkarni?
Sneha, Brigade Meadows is a completed project. So here, though we can look at a small flexibility, but since it is a completed project and where you will be able to move in the next 2 to 3 months time, so more or less, but definitely we are open for some kind of a payment flexibility.
Okay. Okay. What are the banks which are offering home loans for buying homes in your project? This is a question from Anto Anthony. Mr. Kulkarni, would you want to answer that?
Well, most of our projects within Brigade has been approved by all the leading public sector bank as well as private sector. So talking about Meadows, it has been approved by SBI, ICICI, LIC, Axis Bank, so you name it. So you have plethora of banks who have approved it, even Kotak, Mahindra and all. So we are open to deal with most of the banks over here, and we will also be having representative if someone requires the assistance.
Yeah. The next question comes in from George D'Souza. This is for Mr. Suchindra. What kind of taxes do I have to pay on the rental income if I'm investing in this project?
the normal income tax, right? So, but you need to declare from where your rentals are coming. So then you need to declare your property, and that means you need to pay your property tax. So only looking at the rental income, it's just the income tax.
The next question comes in from Sita Vijay Kumar. Does the project have a metro connectivity? If not, will it be linked with the metro network in future? Now, we've already discussed this, but Mr. Kulkarni, would you want to reiterate for the benefit of those who have joined us late?
Yeah, just to repeat, Brigade Meadows is closer to the Anjanapura metro station, which is the last stage of the phase 2 metro development. So that, as per government, should be operational next 4 to 5 months time. So we should be about 5 to 7 minutes drive. And to add to that, we also have shuttle service for our residents, wherein we'll be dropping them till the metro station.
Thank you. Mr. R. Mohan asks, could you tell me about the other charges that will be included? Mr. Agarwal.
Sure. Thank you, Sneha. So when it comes to other charges, it is an under construction project when it comes to 7 gardens. So the charges, what it would attract apart from the basic value of the apartment can be considered as the club charges, the GST, which would be applicable, the charges towards the 1 year advance maintenance or the sinking fund, and electrification, water, sanitary, STP, WTP, those kind of charges would be applicable. It can be considered that you can expect it to be approximately around 15 to 20%. That definitely varies from maybe one size to another. But yeah, largely close to 15 to 20% of your basic. Of course, registration stamp duty has always been kept extra.
Moving on to our next question. This is for Mr. Pratap. Will the lockdown impact the project delivery deadline? This is a question we're getting from Vijay Chandran.
Well, I'm sure this is on the top of mind of most of the customers or prospective customers. Actually, yeah, for some time, probably for a couple of months, there has been stop in construction. But what we have done, like Brigade, what we have got that we have taken care of the construction workers at site, have given them rations and food on a regular level. In fact, we also we have passed on some money to the Jandan account, just like what the government was doing. So we tried to retain the construction workers, and happily, I can say that last 2 weeks, the workers have started work. May not be in full-fledged strength, but at least at a 50% strength. And so work has commenced. Just to add to this, also the dates that the completion dates that we have gone by, as per the RERA dates, we've got a extension because of the current situation by RERA of up to 6 months. But I don't think we would need that sort of an extension, as Brigade is known for delivery on time. In fact, Brigade Meadows, we've just completed 6 months ahead of time. There is a Plumeria lifestyle, which Mr. Vinod just spoke about. We are supposed to deliver in September 2020, and we have completed in March itself. So that speaks a lot about our delivery status.
Thank you. That's definitely good news for Mr. Vijay Chandran. Moving on to our next question. This is for Mr. Suchindra. James Matthew asks, what is the occupancy level in similar projects in the same location?
Okay, so occupancy level by the data, if I have to say, it's close to about 65 to 80% occupancy in projects which have just received their OCs, like in a span of, say, in the last 3 to 6 months that we look at. But we've also seen as soon as the OCs come in, the occupancies gets better and better by the day. So if you ask me for this particular micro market, we should be about 65 to 80% occupancy, with almost nearing the completion part.
Thank you. R. Stanley asks, how much rent can I get from this project? Mr. Agarwal and Mr. Kulkarni, would you want to take that up?
I would like to start because 7 Gardens is yet to be handed over. Meadows, with respect to a 2-bedroom, if I speak specifically about Plumeria and a Plumeria lifestyle kind of a luxury segment, currently Plumeria is fetching a rental of somewhere between 14 to 15,000, We are talking about average of 1,000 to 1,100 square feet, 1,100 square feet of 2-bedroom. And mid-sized unit of a 3-bedroom, that is 1,400 odd square feet, is fetching around 18 to 19,000. The biggest one should be 22, 23,000 as a rental. So these are an average rental what I'm talking about within our project. Yeah.
Mr. Agarwal, how's the rental market over there as of now?
The rental market is quite healthy in this area, provided that the connectivity is very good. At the same time, this location carries the older flavor of the flavor of the older Bangalore. So you have a lot of people who would like to stay here. It is a purely residential area, and definitely that drives the rental market as well. On an average, since Brigade 7 Gardens, as Mr. Vinod has mentioned, is not completed, if I just have to give an idea of some local rates, what is going on here. I mean, a 2 BHK can easily fetch a rental of close to around maybe 15 to 16,000 rupees per month when we talk about local builders. If we talk about a brand with a lot of amenities, a well-designed campus, definitely the same thing can go up to close to around 19 to 20,000 rupees easily.
That's handsome returns.
Thank you.
Mr. Suchindra, TK Sheshan is asking us, will buying through PropTiger invite extra charges? Also, will buying through PropTiger invite extra charges? Also, what kind of assistance will PropTiger provide? Mr. Suchindra.
Okay. So when it comes to charging the customers, it's absolutely zero. We don't charge the customers at all. But then there's a full-fledged service right from showcasing different options based on the size, budget, and their requirement. I mean, the purpose of buying a real estate, right? So as property consultants, we suggest you with RERA approved and most reputed builders in the market. And there is a plethora of projects for you to be deciding upon. And these services come at no cost, no additional cost, absolute zero charges.
Thank you. Here's Lata N asking us an interesting question, Mr. Agarwal. Do I get any discounts if I book a property now? You already spoke about them, and have any discounts as well.
So, I mean, of course, that should be the talk of the town currently. Now, that is a very burning question. What I would say is that we generally do not really believe in discounting as a brand. However, we definitely want our clients to have monetary benefits, to make their investment more fruitful, and the offers what we try to roll are the result of the same. So instead of looking at a direct discount, I would request that we should look at the current offer what we have, which I just mentioned, which is 1090 offer, which definitely will save a lot of money in the form of interest. So that is, I mean, it's a saving from the other end, right? So that is what I would stress on.
Valid
Thank
point.
you.
Mr. Pratap, coming to you. This is a question coming in from Krishna. Bangalore is known for its water problems. What arrangements are there in your projects to deal with this issue?
So all our projects, including the ones we're talking about today, are self-sustainable. So Brigade Meadows, especially if we talk about that, it's a zero discharge project. We have sewage treatment plants to process the water that gets discharged there, recycle that for use internally. Same time, for consumption of water, there are bore wells, and there's a lot of provision for rainwater recharge pits that they are there. So in terms of rain, in fact, Kanakapura road is known for good rain and all. This recharge pits where it will ensure that the water table is good, and so we have around more than 2,000 families. In fact, we have around 2,300, 2,400 customers there, and probably I think around a little less than 2,000 families staying there, and there's been no issue on water at all. And so Seven Gardens, especially, it's part of a well-developed area. It's part of a BDA area, so there's no cost of stressing on water.
Thank you. Here's another question for you, Mr. Pratap. It's coming in from an NRI, Burgis Chandi. He's asking, I'm based in the UAE. I will not be able to visit India anytime soon. If I were to buy a house in your project, how would we conduct the transaction right now? Mr. Pratap.
So there's no issue at all. In fact, happy to say that we have an office in the Gulf, that is in Dubai. Our team is there to assist him to take the booking. Of course, he may want to see the project, for which our team here in India, in fact, the team in Dubai also can share live pictures of the project and up-to-date current status of the project. So we can provide all the information in terms of walkthroughs and videos of the place, and the entire process is can be done online, including the filling the application form, taking the booking amount, and so on and so forth. So there's no issue at all. He could get in touch with us or with the PropTiger team, and we will be happy to assist.
Mr. Agarwal, we have a question from N. Suresh. He's asking, what environment-friendly features does your project have?
I am relatively much new to the system, and it's not only about the project, it's about how Brigade operates as a, I would say, as a ground rule. So I would request my senior, Mr. Pratap, to answer this. I think he can give you an entire lineage on this for Brigade. Sir, over to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you can also answer that. So yeah, all our projects are environment friendly. In fact, the point that we discussed about water sustainability, that's part of being environment friendly. Just to add that, typically all our projects are 60 to 70% open area. We do extensive landscaping there, full of ground cover to ensure that the topsoil is preserved there, and to provide a healthy atmosphere there. So if you enter, especially some of these projects like Brigade Meadows, it's a good 1 or 2 degrees lesser than the temperature just outside the premises. So that goes to say a lot about how environmentally friendly that we make these projects. And in fact, the material that we use also, we try and make it from sustainable material. It's always not possible. For example, cement and steel may not be possible, but the some of the, like the mortar, some of uh, um, bricks and that all those that's used are we try to make it more environmental friendly and sustainable from a sustainable material.
Okay. Thank
Hope
you.
I have answered that question.
We'll move on to the next question. Nalini Balasubramaniam is asking us, how is the locality safety-wise?
I guess that's for both the projects. So maybe Vinod, you want to start first?
Yeah, so safety wise, I mean, in terms of one is it would also be taken care of the kind of location it is. So you are situated right on a national highway, so access or commute wise, you can see right from cab, bus services are available throughout the day and the night. So that is a major advantage. So within the campus, for sure, the entire 60-acre is well secured. We have our one is the electronic surveillance. We have our security team at the site, which is 24 hours available at the site. So overall, I don't think as a location per se or within the project per se, you need to have any kind of an doubt or fear about the safety part of this. It is a quite safe location, because we have seen, since Meadows is right next to Art of Living, and there are a lot of activities which is done at Art of Living during say 10 in the night or maybe 6 in the morning. We see many of our residents just walking from our project to Art of Living campus. So safety wise, I do not see this as a major issue.
Thank you, Mr. Agarwal.
So Sneha, most of it is covered by Mr. Vinod, and of course, being from Brigade Property, even as Seven Gardens would also have the similar features when it comes to the internal security. Coming to the location part of it, definitely there is absolutely no such issue when it comes to Seven Gardens, because of course it is well established residential localities, and it is quite active until quite late in night. And I in fact live nearby, and I can vouch for it on a personal level. So absolutely nothing to worry about.
Thank you. We'll move on to the next question from Mohini
I think
Iyer.
Mr. Pratap was wanted to say
Just I would
something.
just like to add to what Mr. Agarwal mentioned. Our projects also we ensure a lot of safety mechanism is in place. All these projects are well compounded. We institute a good security system in place before we hand it over to the residents association, and we also have CCTVs at very vital locations. So that way, even if someone, I mean, if there's some safety issue happening just outside the project, inside the project, it's never. So we can really assure that safety and security is taken care of in all our projects. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Pratap, there's Mohini Iyer asking us, in case the project is delayed because of the lockdown, will you pay us any interest for the same, for the delayed period? Or does this delay fall under active court?
So, in fact, currently the COVID-19 situation has been termed as force majeure in the recent stricture that has come up. Having said that, Meadows is a ready project and ready to move in, so there is no question of any delay there. Seven Gardens, with the extended timeline, we hope to hand over as per schedule. But in spite of that, in spite of the extension in the date, if we delay, then it will be covered under the RERA guidelines, where then compensation is payable as per the RERA guidelines, which is currently the SBI PLR rate plus 2%. So yeah, we stand by that.
Okay. A question from Mary Gomes. This is for you, Mr. Agarwal. For the smallest configuration, what kind of money will I have to pay in your project?
So the smallest configuration in our project, Seven Gardens, would be a studio apartment, which costs 25 lakhs onwards. And if we are considering 10% of that, the approximate down payment would be approximately 2.5 lakh rupees. If you are considering the 1090 payment, which would be paid as a down payment, and the remaining would be paid by December 2020. So that would be the minimum down payment what we are looking at. When it comes to a regular payment plan, then the detail, I mean, it is little detailed because it will it will get linked with the construction update. And with respect to that, a small token amount of 1 lakh rupee can be considered as a booking amount in case of studio apartment alone. And within 1 month time, the remaining of the 10% would be payable. And further down, depending on the structure, depending on the state of the construction, the remaining payment will follow.
Okay. Another question from Manjush Nair. At what rate is GST being charged at this project?
At Seven Gardens, the GST is charged at 12%.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, panelists, for being with us today and answering these queries. Now, before we wind up, because of lack of time, we like to hear a closing remark from each of you, starting with you, Mr. Pratap.
Once again, I would like to thank for this opportunity for presenting our projects and stating what Brigade is all about. So, as I mentioned, Brigade stands for quality and delivery on time. As we speak, also, in fact, during the lockdown, all our teams had been working to ensure that all our projects are delivered on schedule. We have a slew of special offers available in the sense that, like what Mr. Agarwal mentioned, we can get in by just paying 1 lakh in terms of booking amount, and for a 2 bedroom is just 2 lakhs. It's for a limited period of time, given considering the current situation. And to also add to that, we have a price protection clause that we are happy to share with customers. So there is a discussion in the media that prices may fall. So to allay that fear, we can protect the price for a period. So for all bookings done this month up to a certain period. So we would just ensure and we would just request everyone to consider this seriously. Thank you.
Mr. Agarwal.
Thank you, Sneha. I would like to thank all the participants, all our viewers. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for giving us this precious time of yours. I would request you to please visit us once to experience it firsthand, what our brand is really standing for, what the product is all about, which will definitely get you a better idea. And all the very best and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kulkarni.
Thank you, Sneha. Well, adding to what Mr. Pratap and Agarwal has mentioned, so I also would like to second with Nishit saying that this is especially talking about Meadows. This is a project where you need to come and experience. So many of our clients say that during say early morning or late in the evening, this is nothing short of a resort. And I'm sure once you visit us, you will actually feel that that kind of an environment over here. So we are open all 7 days. Our sales office is fully operational from 4th of this month, and we only look forward to all our esteemed clients who are watching us have a visit to our site so that we can take your interest forward. Thank you and stay safe.
Thank you. Mr. Suchindra.
Yeah, so I would like to thank everybody who's joined this webinar. The markets are back, and I would request you to pick up the phone, dial numbers, allow your relationship managers to take you through to buy the real estate. Thank you all, and stay safe.
Thank you, panelists, for being with us today and answering these queries. Thank you, viewers, for joining us on Project Talk. If you have any more questions to ask us, write into us or drop in your queries on our social media handles, and our representatives will get back to you. So, till another Project Talk, you stay safe, stay healthy. Goodbye.
Thank you, Sneha. Thank
Thank
you all.
you.